everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and if you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, I haven't posted a video in several months, and some things have changed. My hair is shorter, and I'm running my small business full-time right now, but I wanted to make this really special video. Today is my boyfriend and I's 1.5-year anniversary, and I wanted to do something special for him, and I thought I'd take you guys along with me as I get it all set up and do all the things for that. So if you are interested in that, please keep on watching, and we will go ahead and get straight into the video. The first thing I want to say is my hair is pretty much done. It's wet, but I just kind of scrunched it up with some mousse, and I put a styling gel in it. So that's just how I'm gonna have my hair styled. And if I have time, I'm going to put makeup on, but I'm running kind of behind today. Today has not gone like I thought it would. I'm not feeling the greatest, and I'm having issues with some vertigo, so moving around is not my friend. But I'm going to still do something special for him. So the idea I've come up with is a picnic. I have a gift for him, but I'm gonna do like a little picnic thing and give him his gift then. It's too hot here where I live. I live in Arkansas, and it is so hot. I was gonna do it outside, but it's gonna be way too hot by the time he gets off work and everything. So I'm just gonna do it inside at my house in our like dining room, and I'm still gonna set it up like a picnic, but it will just be inside in the air conditioning. So I've got to make the food items, and I've got to set that area up and get it all nice looking. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on, and like I said, if I have time, I will put on some makeup. If not, it'll be okay. But I just wanted to bring you guys along and show you a cute idea that you could do for your significant other. And it's not super expensive, and it's very thoughtful because you're making the items. So I will go ahead and have you guys come with me to the kitchen, and we'll go ahead and get started on making the items for our picnic. The first recipe I'm going to be working on is the caramel apple fruit pizza. I have the recipe printed out here. This is going to be our dessert. So I'm going to go ahead and do the crust first, which is just going to be a sugar cookie, and it has a sugar cookie recipe here, but I went ahead and decided to just buy some that's already made to make it easier. And I'm going to do this part first. So I'm just going to follow the instructions on the package, but I'm going to go ahead and open it. I'm going to see if I can angle this down a little bit where you can actually see what I'm doing. But like I said, I'm just going to be using this. This is just the Pillsbury kind in sugar cookie, and it just has this little thing at the end. So I'm not going to be using this whole thing. The original plan was for me to make a whole huge like cookie pizza, but my mom and I talked, and she actually suggested that I just make, what in the world, two like kind of not super big, but like individual ones for each of us, and just do it that way so that I can make these again if I want to. I will be right back. I'm going to try to get this off, and then I'll show you how I'm going to make the pizza part. I went ahead and just cut that off because it was not wanting to work. So I'm just gonna, it's already opened, and I'm just going to kind of open it like this, and then I'm going to use a cutting board and fan this out a little bit, and then I'm going to take this knife and I'm going to run it under some warm water real quick, and then I'll be back to cut the size piece that I want to put on the parchment paper. Now that I've run this under some warm water just to make it a little easier, I'm gonna cut a piece off. I'm gonna try this much of a piece and just see how that works first. So I'm just gonna take this and then flatten it out some into a cookie shape. Like I said, I don't want these to be too big, but I don't want them to be small either. This one is trying to crack on me. I think I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more. Just kind of flatten it out with my hand. And then I'm gonna make another one. Try to make it about the same size as the other one. Just kind of do this to make the sides a little more even. I think that's a pretty good size, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in the fridge for just a few seconds just to kind of firm them back up. Because of me touching it, they're all warm now, but I'm gonna just put those in the fridge for a few seconds and then I'll be right back with them to put them in the oven. While that is in the fridge, I'm actually going to go ahead and get the apples ready. So I have one Granny Smith and then one Honey Crisp, and I'm just gonna mix them together for this recipe. So I'm going to move my sugar cookie dough over, and then I am going to use this Pioneer Woman apple cutter like this to core the apples, to be able to dice them into little pieces. Have this little bowl, and I'm just going to take the apples and just cut them into little pieces like so. Put them in the bowl. This one I'm not gonna use. I forgot to mention, but I had to preheat the oven to 350, and that's just based on the directions for this package of sugar cookies. So whatever cookie you're doing, just follow those directions. But I went ahead and pulled this out of the fridge, and I'm gonna get the cookie sheet from over here, and it's got parchment paper on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get these placed on it, because I've got so many other things that I need to get done. So I'm gonna go ahead, and since the oven is preheated, I'm gonna go ahead and get this in there. So this is what it looks like. Here they are, and like I said, I'm gonna put them in the oven, and it just says to bake 11 to 14 minutes. So we'll just start out at 11 minutes, and then we'll see if it needs to go in there any longer. And I'll watch them to make sure if they need less time to take them out as well. The cookies just came out of the oven. I'm gonna round just so you can see. This is about how big they are. So they're pretty decent sized, and that's where all the toppings will be. So I'll go ahead and tell you the next step of making these cookie pizzas. I ended up cutting up way more apples than I'm gonna need. So I'm gonna take this Ziploc bag and I'm going to put some of the apples in it. Here, I'll angle you guys down so you can see. But I've got them all cut up and everything. But like I said, I cut up more than I think I really need. So I'm gonna kind of shift them around because there's more green apple than there is the Honey Crisp. And like I said, I'm not gonna need that many. I'm trying to judge how many I'm gonna need. So probably about like, and I don't wanna grab too many of the Honey Crisp ones because I kind of want an even mixture. So I think that's still too many. Let's see, maybe about, yeah, this was way more apple than I needed. I think that's probably about good. But like I said, I'm just gonna keep this in a Ziploc bag and I'll put it, I guess, in the fridge. But this is leftover, so I can still use these for another time, but for right now, I just need this. So in the recipe, this is, oh goodness, I just put my finger right across that blade. In the recipe, it calls for the apples to soak in club soda. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It says to do that like as you're assembling, but I'm gonna go ahead and just get this part done. So it calls for a, let's see, what does it call for? It calls for a whole cup and a half, but I'm gonna try a cup and just see about that first, since I'm not using as many apples. So I'm just gonna pour that club soda. Oh yeah, that's plenty. I do not need another half. So there is a cup. Obviously you can adjust the recipe how you need it, but here's the apples and here's them in club soda. So I'm gonna set this to the side, and it says to let them soak in this for about 3 minutes and then drain them. So like I said, I'm gonna have these, let them soak for 3 minutes, and I will make the frosting while I wait for these. I'm now gonna make the cream cheese frosting. So the first step is to beat the cream cheese, and it only wants 1 second. Before I do that, I'm gonna have to drain the apples real quick, and then I'll start the frosting. I went ahead and drained the apples real fast and just put them on a paper towel just to get any extra liquid off of them, but there's that. So back to the cream cheese frosting, you just need 4 ounces of this. So I just basically cut the package in half, and the other half I'll just put in the fridge. But here is this half. And you're supposed to beat this until it's smooth, so I'm gonna do that real quick since it'll be pretty loud, and then I'll come back and tell you the next step. Now the cream cheese is all smooth, so then it calls for beating in the softened butter, and it says 1/4 cup. I looked that up and that equals out to 4 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you beat that all into that. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. Here is the mixture now. So the next step is to mix in the powdered sugar. So it calls for a whole cup of this, which seems like a lot, but it calls for a whole cup. I went ahead and rinsed out my cup from whenever I was using it for the club soda, but I'm gonna kind of move my finger around in that just a little bit, and my hands are clean just because some of it had some chunks in there, and I don't want that to mess with the measurements. So need some more. I'm assuming this is going to be pretty sweet because of all the powdered sugar that's going into it. And then just a tiny bit more. There we go. So there's the cup of powdered sugar, and you're gonna mix that in. So I'm just gonna mix it with my thing just on a low setting just to mix it all in. So there's that, and then I'll be right back. This is definitely more of a frosting consistency now, and it also says to add vanilla and half and half. So it is a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just using the Mexican vanilla blend. And how much did I say? A teaspoon? Yes, a teaspoon. So a teaspoon of this. And then a tablespoon of, let's see, the half and half. Yes, a whole tablespoon of that. So I'm just using this. Oh, goodness. And then adding a tablespoon of that. And I'll blend that up, and then I'll be right back again. Here is the final frosting. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge until I'm actually ready to assemble everything, but this is the frosting. Now that I have all of the stuff prepped for the dessert, I'm going to be making, this is like an appetizer, and I'm gonna be making easy, cheesy garlic breadsticks. So I've already got the oven preheated to 425, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. It is already 4:15. He usually gets off work around 5, so I need to hurry up because I want this to be a surprise, and I know if he gets off work it won't take him very long to get here. So I'm gonna be using the Pillsbury pizza crust. So it just says to roll the pizza crust onto a parchment lined baking sheet. So I'm sure that you have to pop this thing. So let's see. Let me peel this, because usually it's easier if you peel this little paper thing off first. So I don't have any nails right now, so that doesn't help me, but there we go. So I've got that all peeled off. And I'm not gonna throw this away because I need the directions for that. Well, do I need the directions for that? I guess I don't. Maybe. We'll just leave it there just in case I need it. So now that I've got it opened, I need to pop it open. It always kind of scares me whenever I pop it open like that, but I'm gonna go ahead. I forgot to angle my camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'll fix that and then you can see what it is I'm doing. So I've got it pulled out, and I've never really worked with this stuff before, so I'm not exactly sure. I guess you just, right where this is separated at, there we go. Just roll it out, and it definitely smells like a pizza crust. Oh my. There we go. So just kind of go like that with it, and it's not even rolled all the way out. This parchment sheet doesn't seem to be long enough for this. I have to try and fix this some. Okay. Just gonna kind of push it around a little bit to try to even it out and everything. And I'm a little worried about this one piece. Oh my. Now it's trying to stretch. Okay, well, I thought that would work, but that didn't really work very well. So we're just gonna have to try and figure this out because I need it all on the parchment sheet. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out and then I will be right back. I rolled this out. It's kind of weird looking, but this will just have to work. So I rolled it out. Now I need to melt the butter and crush garlic. So you only need a tablespoon of butter and then 1 clove of garlic. But here's the butter, so I'm gonna go melt it and then I'll be right back. I've got the melted butter here. Now you're gonna be adding a clove of garlic to it. So it says crust, I'm just using minced. I think that'll be fine. This just says a half a teaspoon equals a clove of garlic. So I'm just gonna do a, let's see, where's my half teaspoon? A half a teaspoon of this into this little container. So a half a teaspoon of that. Put it in with my butter and do it that way. So I've got those two and I'm just mixing them together. It just says to mix them together and then brush it evenly over the entire pizza. That's what it says. It smells really good. So I'm just, oh goodness, apparently I'm making a mess. I'm just gonna take one of these little things to brush it evenly over top of this. So I'm just gonna take this to just brush it over. Oh my. I have a feeling I'm gonna end up making a mess with this. But you just wanna brush it evenly over the pizza crust, which like I said, this will be making a breadstick, but you know, just brush that over. This is a super easy way to make breadsticks. Now, I've never tried this before, so I don't know how good it's gonna taste, but we will find out. And I figured this was an easy appetizer to make, so it's not super complicated because I'm not the best at cooking yet. I'm still learning, so I don't need anything that is too overly complicated. Okay, I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more here. Add a little bit more here. Make sure that even though there's this little crack right here, it gets coated. I don't want to leave anything not coated. I actually am going to add a little bit of something of my own. So I'm going to take just a tiny bit of garlic powder and just kind of sprinkle this evenly over the top. Just kind of all over, not too much, but just a little bit, just to add a little bit of an extra like garlic flavor. And then the next step says to sprinkle the mozzarella and Parmesan cheeses evenly onto the pizza crust, then sprinkle the dried oregano. So I'm gonna take the mozzarella cheese first, sprinkle that over top. Just sprinkle this all over, just evenly is what it says. It doesn't really say how much. Well, okay, it said 3/4 cups of grated mozzarella cheese, but it also just says to sprinkle it, so I didn't really measure this out. I'm just gonna evenly sprinkle it out, and we're just gonna go with that. I just wanna make sure that everything is coated in cheese. So there's the mozzarella cheese. Now I'm just gonna open the Parmesan cheese. And this just says a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. I don't really know why, just a tablespoon. But I guess it's because you don't want like a whole bunch. So I'm just gonna try to like do this to sprinkle this on there. Because I don't want too much and then it to taste weird. So I guess I'm just gonna sprinkle it on this way. I'm actually going to just add just a tiny bit more in a couple different areas. So there's the Parmesan cheese, and now it says to just sprinkle dried oregano evenly on the top. This is just oregano leaves, and I'm just gonna, as carefully as I can, just sprinkle some of this over the top. I don't want too much, so kind of just like that. So this is what it looks like, and it just says, I'm gonna show it to you first. But before you bake it, cut the cheese covered pizza crust into 16 equal rectangles, and I'm just gonna do that with my little pizza cutter. I'm just gonna go across it like this. I'm not really gonna count necessarily. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know, should I? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just go across it. So they're not like super huge breadsticks. They're just kind of smaller breadsticks. So that makes quite a bit, but cut those so they're breadstick size, and then it just says to bake for about 12 minutes until the cheese is melted, bubbly, and slightly golden. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just put this in the oven and we'll see what happens when they're done. So I've got those in the oven. Like I said, they take about 12 minutes is what this recipe says. And it is 4:35, and I got a message a few minutes ago from my boyfriend that he is off work. So we're going to have to move pretty fast now. Even if I don't have the like main thing done, it'll be okay. Like I can live with that. But some other things need to be ready. Like the table's gotta be ready. Everything needs to be set up ready. He is going to go to his house to get a shower and get ready and everything before he gets here. So I have some time, but I need to hurry. So I'm gonna clean up everything that I just did, and I'll show you the next thing that I'm gonna do, the kebabs, because they don't take very long. I'll put those together, then I'll show you what I got him as a gift and how I'm gonna set up the table, and then we'll worry about the main course. But that is what's happening right now. So I'm gonna hurry, quickly put all this stuff up and get the next ingredients out to show you how I'm gonna make the patriotic kebabs. We are now at a different angle because my phone is deciding to try to die on me, and I need to get this done. So I've got the strawberries, the blueberries, marshmallows, everything all ready. Okay, so basically take the skewer and you take a strawberry. So you just skewer the strawberry on there. Then you take a marshmallow, poke it through, ow, careful, don't poke yourself. Poke it through the center, grab a blueberry, and this is basically how you make your patriotic kebabs. It's real simple, it's not super difficult, and it's a fun and easy way to have a snack. And this is great for a picnic because you don't need like a bunch of utensils and everything. Like this is a finger food, so makes it really easy. So like I said, you just basically continue this pattern, and this is exactly why I said we only need 2, because these are pretty big skewers and this is quite a bit of stuff on this skewer. And with all the other things that we're going to be eating, like, I was really thinking, I guess, when I was doing this, that I was making quite a bit of food, but that's one. It's done. I'm gonna just do the other one real quick. Also, the breadsticks are done. They look amazing. They smell amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead, do that other one real fast, get everything cleaned up pretty much, and show you real quick what I'm gonna be putting on the table and his gift, and I will be right back. Now that I have basically almost everything done, I've just got to assemble the fruit pizzas, and the main course, the paninis, I'm just going to wait and do when he gets here. But I'm going to show you real quick what I'm using to set up the table with, and I'll show you an overview. I'm going to use this for like the picnic part, so it makes it more like a picnic. And I'm going to use this wooden thing just to like set some stuff on to add some dimension on the table. I've got these little pumpkins. I know it's not fall yet, but the store didn't really have any cute like greenery stuff, so I just went ahead and got this. And then I'm gonna use this fleece throw to put over the table for like the picnic aspect. The plates are kind of fancy, sort of. I mean, they're just from the Dollar Tree, but I got these ones. And then this is for our dessert. So here's these ones, and they're a little sparkly. And for the drinks, I've got these. I'm going to be making Italian sodas, so that's what is going to go in those. And then I made these little place cards for the items that I made. I'm going to put them up, and then I'll show you real quick the gift that I got him. So it came in this box, but I have a promise ring that he gave me, and then I had given him one, but he misplaced it, so I got him a new one, and I got him in a little bit bigger size just because the other one was a little too small for him. And it's basically the same exact thing as the other one, other than I had to get it in a different color because they didn't have the color. But it looks like this, if my camera will focus, maybe. But it looks like this, and then on the inside it says I love you on it, but this is his, and in some of my other videos you can see mine, but I'm just gonna leave it kind of like this in this little baggie and in this box, and this will just be on the table. But that's all the stuff. I will make the table and then show you guys what the overall table looks like. I'm now going to put together the fruit pizzas, so I'll do a shot where you can see what I'm doing. But here's the pizzas on their plates, then here's the frosting, the apples, and then caramel. So I'm just going to take some of this frosting on this little thing right here and just coat this cookie. Now that I have the icing on, I'm just going to take those apples, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on to the cookie. Now that I have these ready, I'm gonna take my caramel. This is just this caramel sauce, and all you do is just go over the top of the cookie like that, and that is how you make the caramel apple root pizza. So I'll show you what it looks like up close, but there's that. This is the final look of the table, other than the paninis will be on here later, but here's the tablecloth, and then there's the breadsticks, the fruit pizza, kebabs, there's his gift, the pumpkins, and then over here is the Italian soda. All you need for it is Sprite, a syrup of some kind. I have a pineapple green apple, the cups, obviously, and then that is used to measure out the syrup. You just use a whole entire shot glass of syrup, then you add the soda, and then you add a splash of creamer. But I just put that in the picnic basket, and then I put all the little labels out. But here is the final table. The table and everything is all ready. He's about to be on his way, but I thought I'd just tell you what I'm gonna do for the paninis. I'm just gonna use this butter bread, this basil pesto. I've got some fully cooked, thick cut bacon. This is hickory smoked. I'm gonna put lettuce on there, turkey breast, and then mayonnaise, cheese. I'm just gonna do it on a pan, press it all together, and then I'm just gonna cut it in half, and we'll each have a half of it. But that's the last item that I'm cooking for this. So I will probably insert a picture of everything when it's done, but that is the last item that I'm cooking. It is late at night, but we had a great time at our picnic. I'll insert here the picture of us for our picnic, but it was amazing, and we had a great time, and the food actually turned out good, so I was really glad about that. But I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope this gives you some inspiration for something you could do for your significant other. And if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.